we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Let's talk crypto, but let's just talk macro in the context of how we should be thinking about a Bitcoin in this environment. It seems to have just moved, frankly, with the rest of the market.
Yeah, Bitcoin is certainly trading with the NASDAQ like a risk asset. I think beyond Russia, by far the big story this year is inflation. And you get distracted when things like Russia happen because they're real. But if you just watch the way the fixed income market trades, the moment there's even a thought of calmness around Russia, fixed income sells right back off. We have an inflation problem. The Fed is behind the curve. They are going to have to hike aggressively this year. When you look back historically, when we have inflation this high, the only way you stop it is to put the economy in a recession. And so Bitcoin will be really interesting. Will Powell have the gumption to be a recession provider, an inflation killer? Does he got any Paul Volcker genes or not? Einstein said, I think the guy that usually creates a problem doesn't solve it. Powell created this problem. We'll see if he can solve it. And I think Bitcoin will rally a lot again if he starts flinching. But there's no end in sight in inflation. You look at even Czechoslovakia inflation last night was off the charts. The camp, wait and see. But
which one? Mike, are you the old guy or the young guy?
Believe it or not, I've become the damn old guy, which really bums me out. It's funny. I started Wall Street April 1st, 1989. 10 years were 9%. Most people that started 10 years after me, never saw rates that high. And again, I'm not saying rates can get back to 9%, but I think inflation could be harder to put back in the bottle.
So what are you doing in terms of, to the extent you have an equity portfolio, what are you doing? And what are you doing when it comes to Bitcoin and some of your cryptos, which seem to be trading like equities?
We are rangy in crypto. I think that the only good side that crypto has right now is there's an adoption cycle. People that want to buy it, that want to buy into Web3, that see what's happening in the NFT space, and even want to buy into Bitcoin, because a lot of people don't think Powell will be able to pull this off. And so they think this is temporary. So we kind of see a 30,000, 50,000 range in Bitcoin, and you should lighten up at the top of the range and increase at the bottom of the range. In stocks, I'm selling rallies. I think we're going to end the year lower than we are here. And mostly I'm hedging everything by trying to be as short rates as I can.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Mike Novogratz speaking of inflation and Bitcoin. And guys, we know that Bitcoin is being hit and cryptos are being hit because right now we're still in the speculation phase. They never talk about the fourth industrial revolution, and that's what cryptos are for. Once everything is complete, we know crypto, robots, algorithms, and drones would take over this economy. But right now we have the Russia movie going on. And we know the New World Order is using this distraction in order to move the money in the back door. Plus a way to destroy the dollar and then also bring in China for conflict. And we know there's going to be a head-to-head battle between the U.S. and China. We know America to Babylon will fall and lose that reserve currency while China, the dragon, will rise. And when it comes to the New World Order wars, it's now going to be cyber. It's now going to be cyber attacks, no more physical. And we know this is all part of a plan. And we know that parallel monetary system is ready. Central bank digital currencies allow Russia and China to get off the dollar and not lose a step. And then plus, this will allow the emerging markets to rise. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Include kicking Russia out of the International Financial Transaction System, SWIFT. Here's what he said.
It's probably not going to be the case that you'll see SWIFT in the initial rollout package. We have other severe measures we can take that our allies and partners are ready to take in lockstep with us and that don't have the same spillover effects.
Spillover effects. Yeah, that's economics jargon for things that have unintended consequences elsewhere. So what message does that send to Putin? We'll shut you out of the world economy, except we won't, because that might hurt us.
A big question out of the Russia-Ukraine conflict is a concern over cyber attacks. Ukraine saying government websites have come under DDoS attacks. That announcement coming this morning. Apparently, banks in the country have been targeted as well. But now there could be U.S. implications as well. And for more on that, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley. Dan, we're hearing from some U.S. officials that businesses need to be careful about ransomware attacks after Biden announced those Russia sanctions yesterday. What are the details on that?
That's right, Brian. We're seeing a lot of kind of chatter about how the U.S. is preparing for a potential cyber attack. We actually saw in New York State the governor and mayor of New York City gathering for their unveiling of a new cyber kind of command center where they would protect the city and state and the various municipalities against cyber attacks, and especially coming at this point in time. Now, there are cyber attacks going on against the Ukraine basically hitting their websites, shutting them down with directed denial of service attacks. It's basically where you take a whole bunch of different computers, tell them to access a website. The website can't handle that many requests and just shuts down. So that's what we're seeing right now. The fear, though, and according to experts that I spoke to specifically here in the U.S., is that Russia could already have backdoors built into systems that we rely on, whether that's infrastructure ranging from power plants to government websites to things like banking institutions. They've proven that they can intrude into those systems before. And so the fear then is that if they were to launch an attack, would they be able to do something like hit the power grid? Hit things like dams or power plants and just take them offline. So that's really where experts are warning we could see if there is the potential for an attack. And one expert I spoke to basically said, look, it's going to happen. Don't panic when it does, but recognize that this is kind of a new kind of warfare. Now, would that lead to something greater, an actual armed conflict? That's really kind of so far afield from what would happen here when it comes to cyber attacks that it's not even a question that it would happen. I think with cyber attacks, though, it's definitely something we're going to see. We've seen Russia intrude into U.S. systems, obviously in the 2016 election and afterwards. So it kind of is almost a foregone conclusion that we would see some kind of interference from Russia.
Yeah, the disruption to critical infrastructure is something that's been talked about for some time, and really the vulnerabilities on that front too. So certainly hoping that things have beefed up as a result, but we'll be watching that one closely. Thanks so much for that, Dan.
That I think central bank digital currencies were concocted in hell by Satan himself. They are incredible control by governments over everybody's bank account, and they are they're going to create a void of privacy for every individual citizen. I think they're horrible, but I think that's where they want to go.
Powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come, Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change